Hi, I am Barbara Carr with 𝘬𝘯𝘬𝘳𝘕, and this is the Barbara Talks Business Podcast. And today I am here with Joe Labate from Clean Internet. So I would like to share with you a couple of things about Clean Internet and about Joe. But first, let me remind you that if you are watching this live, we are live on our YouTube channel, 𝘬𝘯𝘬𝘳𝘕. We are also live in a private Facebook group called Tools, Tips, and Training to Grow Your Business. If you would like access to that private group, just put a comment on this video and we'll make sure that you get access. Or you can look it up on Facebook and request to join the group. As we are live, if you have any questions while we are going, feel free to put them in the comments, because we will answer them right now live on the spot. So Clean Internet, we're talking today about awareness of the dangers of the internet for both children and adults. I think that most people watching this can probably agree that the internet is a pretty scary place, and it's probably agreed that it's a pretty disgusting place too. So there's a lot of things that are on the internet that we don't want to expose our children to, nor do we want to expose ourselves to. There are a lot of distractions on the internet that can keep us from doing what we need to get done. And so the company that we are featuring today will share some solutions with you on how you can protect your family, your workers, your church members, whoever it is that you love and you're trying to protect. Clean Internet can help you to know the best solution for your family or your business. So we're going to talk about safety, awareness, and some actions that you can take. Clean Internet has been around since 1998. That is almost as long as I have been born. And so Clean Internet is definitely the experts in this industry, because there's, decades of experience and expertise in this manner. They first established with the purpose of helping folks protect themselves and their families from the dangers that are on the internet, that lurk on the internet. And so they offer internet filtering services and accountability for Windows, Android, and Apple devices. They also offer email services. And so if you are looking to protect yourself or your family, this will be a great podcast for you to listen to. And so my guest today is Joe. Joe is the operations manager at Clean Internet. He's been doing that for 12 years now. And he oversees the day-by-day operations of the company. He loves the daily interaction with the customers and strives to be of help in any way that he can. I've seen firsthand how great Joe is with customer service. Joe is a husband of 35 years to his wife, Lori, a father to 3 wonderful girls, and best of all, a grandfather to 7 amazing grandchildren. And he treats each customer as if they are his own family, because he loves what he does. And so their motto at Clean Internet, or their tagline, or what I hear so much of what they say, is that they exist to help their customers guard what's important to them, to protect the people they love, to provide a safe environment for folks while using the internet. If that is something that you're interested in learning, I'm excited for you guys to meet Joe. Now, one of my biggest questions is wondering if the internet was crazier or more dangerous back in '98 when this company first started, or if it is now that we're in 2021. I feel like the internet has gotten worse over the years, but I also feel like internet filtering companies such as Clean Internet have gotten even better over the years. So super excited to bring to you guys this company. Please welcome Joe.
I would definitely say it's worse now, but it was started for the reason of, again, when the internet first came on, it was, the World Wide Web, everything at your fingertips. And the gentleman that started this and his partners saw a need to help protect families, young people from accidentally stumbling on something, or intentionally looking for something. Kids are inquisitive. So clean internet with that in mind. We started with the program. Back then, we started with dial-up internet. That was way back then, but we had dial-up. But today, our filtering and accountability works on, all internet connections. And yes, I would say over the years, with filtering software, for example, it gets more challenging day by day with thousands and hundreds of thousands of bad sites added regularly. So we have a job of really getting that protected on your device. We have programmers that really dig into this and make sure we're updating our filter on a regular basis.
Um, so, Joe, there are a lot of internet filtering companies out there, and I know that you guys stand out for a lot of reasons. I know that one of your, your mission pretty much is to help customers guard what's important to them, providing a safe environment for people using the internet. So what different areas could that equate to? Like, give us a rundown of some of the people who you work with and who they might be protecting.
Great. Yeah, we start out everywhere from just a husband and wife who are just, protecting themselves and each other and want to be accountable to each other of what they do on the internet. Because, I think as most folks know, to have a good marriage, a good relationship, there should be no secrets. So with the internet, they might share accountability reporting. Then as their family grows and they have children, tablets, phones. I have, like I said, 7 grandchildren. It's amazing how a 3-year-old can just pick up a phone and it's like, before you know it, they're who knows where. So it starts there. We have protection to help protect the little eyes from accidentally clicking something and seeing something. Then as that family grows, and of course, the teenage years, teenagers typically tend to be inquisitive, but our software will help parents watch what they do, monitor what they do, help them, watch and oversee their online activity. So as a family, the filter kind of grows with them. And then even I think as we take it a next step farther, even we have some senior saints, I would call them, that sometimes they have a lot of time on their hands and sometimes they stumble into things they shouldn't. So the filter helps protect them. And then of course, going the whole other spectrum, businesses, for example, we have quite a few small businesses that will use our product for reasons like productivity. They don't want their employees, while they're at work, maybe on whatever, Cabela's all day or Facebook. So they say, hey, while you're at work, those sites are not available. So with our product, you're able to lock down any sites that you don't want your employees to be on. Also, the reporting will let you look at activity. Maybe you're looking at the reporting and you're like, hey, they're at, this site an awfully lot. Let's close that down. So in business, it works great. Schools, homeschoolers on their computers. We even have several Christian schools that use it in like their computer labs. So we have a wide, the whole spectrum of customers. And I think, as you mentioned, we are faith-based. So our filtering policy might be a little different than some of these other companies out there. Not saying you can't go anywhere, but we try to line up our filtering policy with the beliefs of the Bible and trying to keep with good Christian values. But with that being said, I think sometimes people get afraid when they hear filter and accountability. It's like they think, oh no, I can't do anything. But one thing I always tell our customers, if for some reason you can't get to a site, it says blocked, you always have the option to unblock that site, with the exception of adult type pornography sites. We're not going to unblock those. But the Facebook, the Twitters, the Snapchat, those, if you want access to them, you can have them. If you don't, you can just lock those down. So all in all, our filter kind of encompasses, I mean, from the cradle to the grave, I guess you can say.
Yeah, for sure. And it's interesting that you mentioned the Facebook and Twitter because, obviously I do a lot with social media in my profession. And I don't really see very many things on there that don't appeal to me because maybe it's the people I follow. But I have had a friend, and I won't share any names because of the content, but I've had a friend who told me that he actually had to stop getting on Facebook because every time he did, he saw a selfie of a girl that was, not something he should be looking at. It's not his wife. He shouldn't be seeing, the way that some of these girls are taking pictures. And he said, I couldn't stay on Facebook anymore. Every time I did, it was tempting me to do something that I shouldn't.
Yes.
And I know that that's something that you guys help people with too. I know that pornography is one of those things that, people don't talk about publicly.
Exactly.
But, in our church, we do, help people with that, as I know Clean Internet does too, because humans are broken and we all have sins that we are struggling from. And pornography is one of the very big ones along the male gender. And just the fact of knowing that there's software out there that can help them not be exposed to that in the first place, to even have the temptation, is really cool. So can you touch on that aspect as well, Joe?
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up, but I totally agree with you. I talk to a lot of people every day. And again, I'm not going to bring in names, pastors, assistant pastors, youth pastors, church leaders. And I would say without a doubt, probably the number one problem in our churches today is pornography. But just like you said, it doesn't get talked about a lot. And it is a huge problem, the problem with this, because again, I don't consider myself old, but in the olden days, if you wanted to look at stuff, you have to go to some store, buy a magazine, go to some back, club or something. But now kids and everything is just a click away, and it is so dangerous. And like you said, it starts off like anything with maybe just a small thing, a small, you see this, and then it just goes on and on. And I talk to people every day. I mean, heartbroken. I talk to wives regularly that are struggling. Their husbands have looked at this, their marriages are having a hard time. I've talked to pastors that have, ruined their ministry because of this. So the point I guess we would both say is, we're not immune to this. I mean, we have to be proactive. I mean, as a parent, we like to think, for example, our kids are perfect. Probably one of the biggest things I get is, oh, I trust my kid. I don't need, but you know what? I trust in my kids too, but there comes a point you need to know what they're doing online for their safety, because I'll tell you, we've all heard stories of people meeting on the internet and such, and it's just heart-wrenching. So if I had advice about that, is again, for parents, be proactive. I have a lot of parents. I know nothing about my kid's smartphone. Well, you know what? You probably should learn then. You probably should learn about it and see what is going on, because you really need to know. Let me shut my phone up. There we go. You need to get involved and be involved. I mean, you just do. And like I said, pornography, again, that's one aspect that the filter is a huge help. But even, like you said, with Facebook, Twitter, you never see really anything bad because you're not looking. And again, people like us, I don't have a problem on, like those sites, but some people could tend to wander, and we really need, with the way Clean Internet works, it just helps protect you. It just helps safeguard, areas of your life there.
Yeah, for sure. And one of the things that I came to find out too is that children, boys and girls both, are exposed to pornography so much earlier than we believe, right? Like, I've got teenagers, and when I heard at a church service, right, that that it's likely that if you have boys or men in the house, they either are now or have sometime in their past struggled with pornography. And I thought, no, there's no way. And then having conversations, and I start realizing that whether they intend to do that or not, everywhere they look, there's stuff that's popping in their face saying, look at me, you know. And one thing that I thought was really cool. My husband goes to a men's group, and I don't know much about the men's group, obviously, because I'm a woman and I didn't attend. But there was one moment in our lives where I started noticing, and my husband's not the type of person who really likes, you know, checks other women out or flirts with other women. And I have no jealous bone in my body. But at one point after a certain men's group meeting, I started noticing every time a woman would come on like a TV screen or something where she was like not fully clothed, he would turn his whole head away and look at me. And at first I thought, that's weird. Why is he doing that? You know, because like I didn't feel like he had any kind of issue or anything, whatever. And he just shared with me that that's something that one of the guys shared, that even if you're not struggling, why not look at your wife during that moment instead of whoever it is on the screen? Right. And I thought that was the sweetest thing, but that takes self-control, you know, and people may not always have that self-control. So to have this app that just basically shuts it down before they have the option, I think it could save a lot of marriages and could save a lot of young boys from having lifelong addiction. Exactly.
And again, the filter and the accountability isn't, you know, just like 100% and everything's going to be great. Like you said, I like to do it. It's like a tool. It's just something to, again, help you have a closer walk with the Lord, help you to stay a little more clean. It's just a little extra. And I think everybody knows that accountability is a big thing. I mean, like in my case, I know when I'm on my computer, my wife can look up reports and see the activity I've done. So for me, that's enough that I'm not even going to try to look for something, because I'm like, I know she can see what I'm doing. So for me, that's an extra nudge, you know, hey, you know, somebody's watching you. And we've all heard since we were children, you know, God sees everything. But, you know, we all know that, so that doesn't, you know, necessarily stop people from things. But the accountability of a spouse, of a friend, of a pastor, that goes a huge way with helping protect against pornography and such.
For sure. And, you know, earlier, Joe, you talked about the homeschooling parents and groups and stuff, which I think is just as important these days. Right. So many kids are working at home, whether they're e-learning in a public school system, or so many people have moved to homeschooling because of everything going on in the world today. In fact, I've moved to homeschooling 2 out of my 3 children, right? The third one is a senior in high school, so I figured just let him finish off. But my 2 girls, I'm homeschooling them now, and it really is a big job for a parent. And I am one of those crazy parents that even though I do filter, I occasionally say, give me your phone. And they're like, why? What I do? And I'm like, it's not that you did anything. I randomly want to check what's going on your phone. And I'll go through messages and their social media, and they'll sit there staring at me, you know, and I'm like, hey, if you want to have a privilege of a phone, you've got to be okay with me checking it at any point, right? Like, right. Parents do need to learn somehow how to access this stuff, because there are apps out there now that have names that sound like they're innocent, but they're not innocent apps.
Right. Yes, I agree. I think, like you said, parents need, and again, I don't want to get into, you know, like we talked about preaching, but I think, and I talk to people every day, parents, I think, need to stop wanting to be friends with their kids, and they need to be parents. And, you know, sometimes it's not, I never understood it when my mom would always say to me growing up, this is going to hurt me more than you. And I'd be like, yeah, right. But as a parent now, you know that it hurts you more, you know, if you have to do something, discipline or take some away, it hurts me, you know, a lot. So as parents, we just need to, you know, bite the bullet and say, you know what, I am going to be a parent. And if it means, you know, watching their filter, watching their activity, whatever it is, it can be carried on to anything. We just need to do that.
Yeah. No, for sure. So let's talk about how easy this app is to have, okay? Because
Okay.
people are probably listening now and they're like, so now I have to learn how to develop an app or put an app on whatever. Tell people how easy it is to have access to this app.
Okay, real quick. On a computer, right now, Clean Internet, we have a product for Windows computers. We are in the process of working on something for Mac computers. So unfortunately, if you have a Mac computer, we don't have anything, but a Windows computer running Windows 10, or if you have an older system, basically you just go to cleaninternet.com, sign up real quick. It walks you through, you install our program on your computer. And on a computer, it's a wonderful thing. You just start using your computer like you always did. You don't have to log on to anything. You don't have to do, you just use it like you always did. And it will start filtering immediately. You know, pornography sites won't come up with a block page. Things like that will just be blocked on a Windows computer. On other devices, an Android device, an Android phone, an Android tablet. When I say iOS, in case people don't know, iOS is basically an iPhone, you know, an iPad, not a Mac computer, but anything else. Those are apps. So you would just, on an Android, you'd go to the Google Play Store, search Clean Internet, you'll find the Clean browser, you install it, and it installs a whole separate browser. What that means is if you're used to using Google Chrome or Internet, it's a little learning curve. You just have to use the Clean browser. You click on that, it will lock out the other browsers that get on the Internet, and everything's done through there. And that's the same way it works on an iPhone. So it's really very, very simple. And again, real quickly, the thing I think that makes Clean Internet stand out to me of all the other filtering companies is our customer support. We will bend over backwards to help you. We are not the biggest filtering company out there, but we still pride ourselves. If you call, we're going to answer. If we don't answer, we usually return calls right away. I mean, we help people every day with things that have nothing to do with our filter, just because, you know, that's what we like to do. We like to try to help you guard your family and what's important to you, whether it's with the filter or anything else we can help you with.
Yeah, and I agree. Like I said, I've seen Joe do that firsthand, where he truly does care. He's a caring man, and of course, a man of faith. So I just want to show. I don't know if showing this in the camera will work, but I want to show people what this app looks like. Let's see. Let me move it a little bit away from the light. Well, you can kind of see. I didn't know if it would come up. There we go, Clean browser, and it's got their little logo. I was like, I wasn't sure how it would look as I do it, but I wanted to pull it up there. So that's on the app. And then, so those of you some of you may have already went and signed up, but if you haven't signed up yet, since Joe just gave all that information, wait just a few moments, because we have a surprise for you that you may be interested in taking advantage of. And as you heard, they're on Apple devices, all except the Mac, and then Windows and Android. So almost you could protect all your devices that you have, yours, your children's, your spouse, anybody who you have, you could protect their device. Now, one of the things I've noticed about Clean Internet, because like I said, with teenagers, I've done my research on internet filtering companies. Clean Internet provides so much value for such a low cost. And so, like, if you're looking at, like, how is this so low cost? It's because they're just great people, and I've been encouraging them to raise the price. So you should sign up before they do that. But so just know that they are so affordable that it is just unbelievable. But I do have a question in the chat, Joe. Somebody says, how many devices can we have in the app for our family?
Well, great question. You install the app or the filter on as many devices as you want. It's installed on the device. That's a good question, because sometimes folks think, okay, I'm installing this on my Wi-Fi router or my network at home. The way our product works is it's installed on the device. And the great thing about that is you take your computer to wherever, to a motel, McDonald's, you connect to the internet, it's filtered because it's on the computer. the phone. It's on the phone, whether they're using their data or Wi-Fi. So you can put it on as many devices as you like. We charge by devices. For example, up to 3 devices is $75 a year. Up to 5 devices is like $125 a year. So we go by devices. And if you have more than that, on our website, I believe you contact us. Again, we like to make money. It pays me and the other guys. But this isn't about money for us. So, we'll work with people. I mean, we have customers that we give our product to. If they honestly can't afford it, we'll give it to them. So our goal is to get it out there, but you can install it on as many devices as you'd like. There's no just one device or it's 2.
Great question. Thank you for the question. And remember, if anyone else has questions, you have a couple more minutes to ask them. And I want to mention that Joe just shared some of the prices. And if we take the price of the 3 devices for $75 a year, if you break that down, you guys, that's $2 per device per month. Okay, a lot of these other companies are charging $5 or $10 a month per device. So just so you know, it is very affordable. They're a great company. I highly endorse them. And so next, I just want to tell you that Joe and his company has offered for anybody who is watching or listening to the replay, if you're watching it live or listening to the replay, hearing it on audio, any way that you might be hearing this, if you contact them and let them know that you heard this podcast show of them giving this information, they will give you 3 months for free to try on one of your devices. So let's find out how to contact them. Joe, what would be the best way for somebody to take advantage of that offer?
I would say email us at support, just SUPPORT, support at cleaninter.net. So support at cleaninter.net, and just, mention, you'd like to try our product, and you heard about it on the podcast, and we'll give you 3 months. I didn't think of it until now, but I do have a way I can go in and make a coupon. So I'll do that when this is done. So this way, when you sign up, and I give you the coupon code, it'll just, give you 3 months free. But yeah, email us at support@cleaninter.net or call us. We have either 219-728-5030 or 866-752-5326. And again, any questions, we'll be glad to answer those for you.
Thank you, Joe. And if you still want more information, like if you're like, hey, this sounds great, but I still have more questions that maybe I don't want to ask in the chat, I want to talk to someone personally, like Joe said, you could call them or you can email them. But you can also get a lot of great information on their website. They've got some fantastic education blogs and stuff like that on there. So if you're looking for information, go there. You could sign up right on the spot. If you're one of those people who say, you know what, I don't need 3 free months. I know this is worth it. I'm going to sign up now. You could do that as well. I know everyone loves free, but it's also okay to pass up the free if you'd like. But I'm so excited about this because this is something that is so needed, especially in the world we're in now. Everybody's working from home. Everyone's going to school at home. And everywhere we go, we have our cell phone attached to our hip. And like we talked about earlier, it's so easy to get distracted. Even if it's not like things that you don't want to see, even if it's things you're trying to see, you might be spending too much time on something that's just a distraction, like Facebook, right? Those of you who are watching this now may say, you know what, I want to limit how much time I go on Facebook, or I don't want to go on Facebook at all. So just consider this filtering company for your family, your business, whoever you're protecting. Consider Clean Internet because they're a reputable company who love Jesus and love God's people. So let me just check one more time if there's any other questions in the chat. And while I do that, Joe, is there anything that we didn't discuss that you want to make sure people know?
Just really feel free to give us a call. I know, in this day of technology, email, chats, and all that, I guess I'm old fashioned. I still like talking to people. So if you have any questions, just give us a call and we'll be glad to answer them for you. Now, our product, we'll be honest. If I don't think it'll work for you, we'll tell you, and we'll even give you some recommendations of other products. but I would strongly suggest, any questions, concerns, just give us a call and we'll be glad to help you out.
Awesome. And so reach out to them. Joe will not rush you off the phone. In fact, he might talk longer than you'd like to because he is a talker, but he's always got good things to say. Joe, I'm so excited that I had the opportunity to have you guys here. And we will put all of the information that we shared in the text after the podcast. So we'll make sure the phone number is written in there, the email address, the website, all of that good stuff. And then when Joe creates a code and sends it to me, I'll put the code in there for you guys as well in case you want to bypass contacting and just use the code. So go ahead and look in the description of this in about a half hour after the call is done, and then all that should be updated for you. Joe, thank you so much, and you have a wonderful week.
Great. Thank you. Bye-bye.